I'm pleased and proud that 20 years ago I was at the first meeting that Dick Weekley convened to talk about the terrible state of the civil justice system in our state of Texas. We were known as the Wild West of litigation, the lawsuit capital of the world. I'm reminded that St. Paul asked, if the trumpeter sounds an uncertain note, who will answer the call? Well, Dick Weekley has never sounded an uncertain note, and lots of people, thousands of people, have answered the call.
Dick Weekley is a force of nature. I don't know what genetic combination led to Dick Weekley, but it's got to be the rarest combination on the planet.
Dick's a walking committee meeting. There's never any time wasted with Dick.
He is always looking to achieve what others think may be unachievable, but by doing it, he's so collaborative and is so good at bringing people together.
Now, Dick was our go-to guy. When we had a problem, Dick was the guy who we wanted to be carrying the ball for us.
He brings a sense of purpose, passion, and energy to any project that he signs on to that is unlike many people that I've encountered in my lifetime.
I think Dick is a developer, and a fantastic developer, who has a green soul. He realizes the importance of parks and bios, especially in Houston, the value of land around green space.
The work that he has done in Houston has basically been a game-changing effect in the quality of life of the city, whether it's parks, whether it's transportation, whether it's enhancing the freeways and creating more green space. Across the city, you can see where he has touched and made a difference, and it's forever.
Dick's a true Texas hero who's never taken no for an answer. That's an attitude that made him such a valuable part of our state's stand against the trial lawyer lobby.
Well, God himself knows that the people of Texas were suffering and suffering mightily because of court decisions. And it was just beyond being ridiculous. It was just a mess.
So it was a cash cow for some of our attorneys, and was a real impediment to practicing good medicine.
And people would complain about it. Weekley decided something had to be done.
Dick Weekley is the kind of leader that's a leader's leader.
Dick Weekley comes to you with passion, leverage, ideas. He's the full package. He truly gets what it is he wants to explain to you. He doesn't have to depend on someone else to talk to you about the issues. He's fully engaged and informed.
He's a very intelligent, very organized man. He understood the issues and knew how to articulate, how to plan a program.
He came to my office, and the guy, he's as serious as a heart attack, and not a lot of joking around, and he doesn't waste any time. So it was sort of a hit and run. He came in, he explained it, and said, that's it, that's what I'm going to do, and this is the way it's going to be accomplished.
He's been a godsend to the medical community and to the business community too.
And of course it is the leadership of the governor, the lieutenant governor, the speaker, and the members of the House and Senate who actually pass the laws. But one thing is clear, but for Dick Weekley, TLR would have never come into existence, and therefore the most comprehensive tort reform in American history would not have taken place. That can be said about Dick Weekley and no one else.
It needed exactly what Dick thought it did. He understood it better than anybody else.
Dick Weekley is the reason Texas lawsuit exists.
His only agenda is to do what's great for the business community and the community at large for the state of Texas.
The thing about Dick is he was always focused on what was best for the state, not what was best for Dick Weekley. Dick Weekley was doing just fine, thank you very much. The focus on the state and the idea that people should come together in a way that would create the best place, make Texas the best place to live, work, raise a family. That was really exciting to see someone who took it so seriously, because you grow up thinking that's the way it's supposed to be, but it isn't always. But it is with Dick.
I think Dick gets credit for understanding, for figuring out a terrible situation which our whole country is facing, but we were facing in the worst way here in Texas, and then just systematically, assiduously, relentlessly figuring out the right solutions, the moral solutions to solve a big problem, and then setting about systematically to do that.
You know, Dick and I have officed together for over 30 years now, and when we first moved into these new offices, we had to have it swept for bugs regularly because he was right in the middle of the first sessions with tort reform. And you know, when you go after lawsuit abuse and folks that aren't always handle their business in the same way that we might, they can get really upset. And so it was some difficult times.
You know, I mean, everybody overuses the expression force of nature, but you know, he hadn't even been sued. He did it because he thought it was right. He was not grinding an old axe. He was doing something that he thought needed to be done because he thought it was right.
Texans for Lawsuit Reform is kind of the most remarkable example of business leadership, being involved in public policy in a way that has a really significant impact. And in this case, it wasn't only a significant impact on the state, but it's becoming a bigger impact on as other states follow Texas, as they have to, because we're more competitive now because of what Dick and others brought about in changing our tort system.
Dick's impact on the state has been really very profound.
He shines so brightly amongst those people because of his compassion and his commitment and his decision that any issues that he brings to the table are going to be of value.
The guy, you know, he's a giant in Texas, is what it is.
If Dick is on your side, then you have somebody who is the best friend and best ally you can get. If he's on the other side, he's a formidable adversary. But I'll tell you this, whatever side of you're on in a battle with Dick Weekley, he has a good heart and he won't stop until he gets something done.
The man of character and integrity and love for his family and his state and his country, and a tireless drive to do the right thing.
A very inspiring person. He obviously has tremendous passion that comes through.
Dick has led in good times and bad times. He's put his reputation on the line. Dick has stayed the course for doing what's right, and that's a leader's leader.
I just absolutely adore Dick Weekley. I think we don't produce better humans than Dick Weekley.
He is very passionate. He works very hard. And when he's focused on it, just don't get in the way. So he just runs right through it. And if you challenge him, you know, as a Navy officer, he got used to kind of charging through and making things happen regardless of what obstacles might be in front of you, especially if it's a kind of a moral and a hard issue that he believes passionately about. And I think that's what really made him successful, was that people knew that he didn't have an agenda other than trying to do the right thing for the right reasons. And he's probably been the most impactful business person in public policy over the last generation, and a leading example of bringing about change.
I think Dick Weekley has arguably made the single most impact of any individual in the past decade and a half. I think we can trace a lot of our economic success in Texas to the soundness of our civil justice system and taking off the anchor that weighed down our state economically pre-reform. You also have to look at what he's been able to do through TLR in organizing advocates for the state for a sound free enterprise system. How many people he's motivated to get involved in the process, either the political, policy, legislative process.
Knowing there was a problem was easy. Anyone could see that. But someone to come in and commit himself to 20 hours a day and never, ever, ever give up, to get the right people on the bench, get the right people in the legislature, to get the right changes in the laws to where we had a fair chance if we had an issue, and still at the same time take care of those who had been harmed in a fair way. So Dick Weekley was the man. You couldn't pay somebody to do what he did. No one would work that hard. No one would be that effective. He not only spent 80 hours a week working on it, but he put a lot of his own personal money into it. So, long answer to your question, but we needed, God knows, we needed Dick Weekley.
But at the end of the day, Dick Weekley is a hero upon whose shoulders we now stand for what he has done for Texas.
He's just a one-man renaissance of ideas and energy and force in the state. And I honestly can't think of a single other individual in the last decade or two that has had more of a greater impact. And when you think about that, he did it from the private sector, not as an elected official, just somebody with the moral certainty of being able to do the right thing for the state, not caring about who takes the credit, and then always moving on to the next problem, never being satisfied. I just think it's beyond remarkable. And if we had 50 Dick Weekleys, we could fix this country. I'm happy that the one we have is in Texas.